with forest fires, that the risk of forest fires is so high in our province, it's so important to make sure you have contingency plans in the event you lose either your electric service or your natural gas service for a few days. So what we typically recommend to people is just to think through how you and your family and your household uses energy every day. So, like Prepared BC, we do recommend having an emergency kit with enough supplies for 72 hours. And because you may not have power, be sure you save it or store it in a location that you can find in the dark. Other things that we ask people to think about is, do you have a safe method for cooking food? And remember, of course, never to bring in your outside cooking appliances in the house. You might be tempted to bring your propane stove in the house. Never do that. Make sure if you plan to be using your outdoor cooking equipment to get through an outage, to be sure you're cooking outside. Hot water. Do you have a plan for hot water? To stay clean, to clean ourselves. Do you have a plan for hot water during an outage? If you have really sensitive medical equipment or other critical equipment that you just can't be without, then you probably want to have a backup power system, whether that's a generator or some other method of generating your own power is super important if you do have critical equipment that you need to run. I do know that some rural properties have it require a pump for their water handling on their property. So very important to have a backup power system so that you can still use your plumbing systems during an outage. So in the event you are evacuated, be sure to leave your natural gas appliances on and exit your property immediately. We can safely turn off sections of our natural gas system following shutoff plans that we have in place for the entire province. And these plans allow us to minimize any potential hazards or risks during an evacuation or a large-scale event. So if you are evacuated, you really can just leave your services on, leave your natural gas on, and we can take care of it remotely. And when you do return to your property, and if there's been any damage to your services, you will have to have a contractor come and take a look at it and make sure, have an affidavit that tells us that it's safe before we can restore service to your property. So that's really important as well. So it's really important to know how you're going to manage without services for a few days. But I know a lot of people are taking steps on their property to protect it from forest fire. And that could mean doing some excavation work or trenching on your property. So I just like to remind people that if you plan to do any excavating or trenching on your property, to contact BC1 call beforehand to get location details of any natural gas lines or other underground utilities. And know that during a wildfire, these requests will be processed as an emergency. So you should get the information back fairly quickly. So that will make sure that you can do that work safely on your property. If people do have more questions about what to do around their natural gas and electricity services, please visit our website at fortisbc.com/forestfires.
The Air Quality Health Index is an indicator measure that looks at certain pollutants in the air and gives us a score from 1 to 10 about the quality of the air. So if you don't have any underlying conditions, and if it's a 6 or lower, it's pretty fair game to go be active outside. You can let your symptoms guide you. If you start having sore throat, a bit of a cough, eye irritation, then it's time to slow down and maybe go inside. If you have to go outside, for example, if you work outside, you can wear a mask. So an N95 mask are the better ones for filtering those particles. They're called N95 because they filter 95% of particles. A regular medical mask or one of our COVID cloth masks, we usually filter about 50%, but the most important part is that it seals all the way around. If you're breathing around that mask, those particles are going to go right around. So the CO2 is a very small particle. The gas molecule will go right through the mask. So many athletes are able to exercise very safely in masks, and all of our surgeons will do 10-hour surgeries with masks on the whole time. So it's very safe to exercise in a mask. There are people who are at higher risk from poor air quality: infants, children, and pregnant women. For people who have predisposition to inflammatory health conditions, like asthma or heart disease, for example, it can make those worse. And so you gotta also watch for the signs of those. So if you have asthma, maybe carry your inhaler, and if the inhaler doesn't settle those symptoms, then it's time to go to the hospital. In general, short-term exposures to poor air quality don't tend to have lingering health effects, but we don't really have evidence to guide us of what are the long-term effects of smoke exposure during, wildfire season, because wildfire seasons this bad are a relatively new concept. So, it's important to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your loved ones, and you're eating healthy as much as you can, and exercising as much as you can, and getting enough sleep and those basic needs, so that we can be resilient and deal with stress as it comes.
In terms of being prepared, FireSmart, that's what you can do. If you go to the FireSmart BC website, there's evacuation checklist there, there's to-go bags, there's the things you can do to prepare your home rapidly in the event you are going to be evacuated. There's things that people can do before they're on alert, when they're on alert, and even right before they're leaving their home. So really get educated, take the time, talk to your family members. Where are you going to meet after the fact? Have those communication systems set up. That's the best information that we can give, and really encouraging people, because this isn't the end of the summer, right? This is just the beginning. So taking the time to get prepared is the best thing people can be doing right now. So the campfire ban did go into effect June 30th at noon, and that's province-wide. So that's everywhere in BC, no campfires, and that includes all the other incendiaries, sky lanterns, fireworks, you name it. At the moment, there are no restrictions in the backcountry, so the forest hasn't been closed. But we are urging people, if you are recreating, if you're getting out and into the backcountry, to be very savvy about what you're doing back there, to have water with you, to make sure that if you're using an ATV, that you're staying on the dirt path and not straying into the dry grass. So really making sure that any sparks, any chance of causing a fire is really something that you're being cautious of, and to stay out of the bush if you're not prepared to take those precautions. It is an active wildfire. There are fire department personnel and BC Wildfire Department personnel that are on scene. There's several tankers, helicopters, and they really need that airspace and that ground space free so that they can do their work and keep suppressing the wildfire. So just reminding people to keep a distance, and really you should be at home and making sure that your properties are prepared, and if you're told to evacuate, be ready to do so. With weather, as anybody knows, it's hard to predict more than 3 days out with any accuracy. We do see for the next 10 days that there isn't any really wetting rains in the system. So at least in the Southeast Fire Center, not experiencing or not expecting any kind of a reprieve from the hot weather. June, typically we always say the June rains, they'll tell us what the season will be like, and we really didn't see them this summer. So we don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately, but it does seem like it's going to be a busy summer. So just urging people to be cautious now. And unfortunately, we haven't found a way to prevent lightning. It's going to happen, but we can prevent those human starts. And that's really what people need to focus on now, is preventing those human-caused fires, preparing themselves and their families by getting FireSmart, and of course reporting any fire, or even if you think it's a cloud or maybe it's a fire, reporting it to that star 5555 number, 1-888-663 and then 5555. And of course, firesmartbc.ca and the BC Wildfire website are excellent resources for information on what you can do to get prepared, and as well as to keep your eye on the wildfire situation and know kind of what's in your neck of the woods.
As British Columbians, we are incredibly fortunate to call this beautiful province home. Our temperate climate, incredible vistas, and vibrant communities are why BC is regarded as one of the best places to live in the world. But while living in this wonderful province comes with a natural sense of pride, it also comes with natural hazards that we can't ignore. The threat of wildfires is a reality that British Columbians live with every year, and this year is no different. The 2021 wildfire season has quickly become one of the driest and most active on record, which means the risk of wildfire is more real than ever. Because of these increased risks, I urge you to get prepared now by going to firesmartbc.ca. This is not the time for complacency. This is the time to get informed and take action for yourself, your family, and your community. By simply visiting the website, you'll find the latest updates on your community's wildfire risk level. You'll learn how you can mitigate fire risks on your property, and you'll be provided with a comprehensive evacuation plan and checklist that you can have ready to use in case of an emergency. Year after year, British Columbians have risen to the occasion in climate-related challenges like we face today. But the more we do our part to prevent human-caused wildfire and protect and prepare ourselves and our homes, the more we can keep our families and communities safe from the threat of wildfire. Be safe and get prepared at firesmartbc.ca today.
I'm the Chief Administrative Officer of the Cariboo Regional District, and currently I'm the Director of Emergency Operations Center. I wanted to give a little bit of guidance on the difference between an alert and an order. An evacuation alert is a warning. It's an opportunity for you to get ready, to prepare, to be ready to go on a moment's notice. An order is asking you to go to somewhere safe, to ensure that you and your family are able to carry on.
As Dave Dixon, I'm the Emergency Support Services Director for the City of Williams Lake and for the Cariboo Regional District. If you've been ordered out of your area, you are entitled to your lodging. That can be in the form of a hotel, it can be form of billeting, or if you have a motorhome or trailer, you are entitled to be given compensation while you're staying in a trailer park. Your meals, you are able to purchase groceries. If you're in the immediate 100-mile area, out of the ordered area, you can call the ESS Center in 100 Mile or in Williams Lake, and we can extend an extension so you can purchase groceries right in your home community. If you're out of the community and points north of Williams Lake and the 100 Mile, please call again to the center, and we can help you. We give out 72 hours of notice of extensions at a time. If the order was to be rescinded, which we all hope that will be soon, you are allowed to go home immediately, and therefore your referrals would stop at that time. But our goal is to help you. It's an unprecedented time when we have so many fires and people are evacuated out of their communities. And we're here to help you as best we possibly can. We have amazing volunteers that want to do absolutely the best they can. They know the community, and your safety is paramount to us. So be safe, be kind, and work with our volunteers. We will do our best to help you.
In recent years, we've noticed a clear pattern. It's that the homes that survived these devastating wildfires did something different.
So embers from a fire can travel up to 2 kilometres. The house that's not prepared, that has uncut lawns, brush up against the house, leaves in the gutters, is fuel for the fire and a recipe for disaster for firefighters.
Remove flammable items from the perimeter of your home, so including firewood, including construction materials, lawn furniture, everything that will burn, move it at least 10 meters away from any other structure.
If we pull up to 2 houses, and one has wood siding and a wood roof, and the other one has a metal roof on it, the one with the metal roof that's been prepped is going to be more defensible.
But if there's one thing we can take away from the fires that we've fought, it's that the homes that are prepared are the homes left standing.